Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 4 long years already. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned this in a past video, but whatever. I like to celebrate my channel's anniversary at around Halloween time because that's when I started coming up with the conviction to finally start a YouTube channel. I've ran through many ideas in my head, and for this year's Halloween special, I'm gonna talk about some of my fears and how I overcame those fears. I'm pretty sure that it all started when I was around 3 years old and I was in Rio Negro back in Argentina. For some reason, I think I saw some gameplay of, I think it was House of the Dead. I'm not sure, but it was a zombie game, and for some reason, watching it made me, it basically traumatized me for life. I only saw like 2 seconds. I looked at it and I was like, oh no, it's scary. And then I was scared forever. It was terrible. It was a terrible time to live, man. Being a young boy is very hard. My mom was making a phone call on one of the payphones. I don't know if they're still around, but yeah, ancient technology. I am that old. And a bunch of grasshoppers were surrounding us. There were little tiny ones too, and they all just kind of. There were like hundreds of them, and they were surrounding us, and they started to slowly jump towards us, and one of them got on I think it was my shoulder. I freaked out, and yeah, that's why I can't deal with insects. Because they surrounded me at a payphone. I remember one of my friends wanting to play Resident Evil, and I just wasn't having it. I basically had like a breakdown. I was crying. I was like, oh my god. But I was totally okay with him playing Dino Crisis, I think it was, which was pretty gory and it basically had the same playstyle, that same mechanics and everything and movement that Resident Evil had. Looking back on it, and so all these years passed, and I finally, around I think it was high school, I got my hands on Castlevania, and I could not play Castlevania. It was spooky. I could not do it, but I wanted to play it because I was having so much fun and I loved the game. And so I kept pushing. One day, after coming back, I don't even know how long it was until I finally sat down and said, no, I'm going to play this. I don't care. It was, I think it was a huge leap, psychological wise. I don't think anyone would have noticed this change. I don't think I even noticed a change until now, basically. But yeah, going through Castlevania opened up my metaphorical eyes, and I started looking more into horror related things, and I found out that horror movies have painted this really bad picture of what horror is supposed to be. Basically, everything was a jump scare. That's what I didn't like. Just did not like jump scares at all. I still don't. I think it's a really cheap way to get a reaction out of you, because even if it's a puppy, you're still gonna be like, wow, sudden movement. And I believe that it's because of internet movie reviewers that I actually started to like horror movies for what they are. I'll have to give a big shout out to James from Cinemassacre. His Monster Madness series it fascinates me, and that's really how I got into liking horror. Before this, I never wanted to look at anything, and well, yeah, Castlevania, and then suddenly looking at old horror movies and monster movies and all that, and finding out about the suspense and that feeling that you get that you know something bad is gonna happen but it never does, and just the interesting ways that horror can be used to tell these dark stories, which normally you would have a happy ending just to send everyone home with a feeling good inside. Horror movies that are done really well usually leave you with a what if, or something that, or have you realizing that the good ending is not as good as you think it was, and it just opens up a whole new side to the discussion and to art, basically. I started liking more dark and gruesome things. I was always okay with gore to a point, to an extent. Seeing it in real life kind of makes my stomach turn, which is it's natural, and seeing a dead body on the side of the road and not feel anything, I kind of fear that more than I fear seeing something die in front of me. because I know that if I don't feel anything towards something that's dead, I feel like something inside of me is probably dead at that point, and a lot of bad things can happen. That's a very bad turning point, and I hope that I never get to that. So yeah, I guess that's also one of my fears, not being able to react to certain things in a normal, I guess, in a quote-unquote normal way, in fear of turning into something sinister, something, I guess, what many would consider to be evil. Fast forward to nowadays, a lot of the things I fear are irrational, but fear itself is irrational. I still don't like jump scares. I mean, I just don't. I love horror for what it is, for the suspense, but if you bring in some cheap jump scares, it better be well deserved. They better happen, and not just have the whole movie filled with jump scares like a lot of modern horror movies like to do, just to keep people's attention, I guess. Why bother telling something meaningful when you can just get everybody together, a couple of jump scares, some blood and gore, done. Make another movie, make millions of dollars overnight. I think it's sad that as a society we've come to accept a lot of things that we should not be accepting, and we speak with our wallets. The things that get greenlit and supported, I guess, by the normal movie-going audience and so on. I know that they're the ones that get the money, and I guess since the formula's been figured out, the people that don't really see movies that often or play games that often, or basically consume any form of media, unlike us, the hardcore whatever, that watch 100 movies, play hundreds of games, we know what we want. A person that just comes in doesn't really have the ability to, say, play a certain difficult level in a game, or know about movie techniques, film cinematography, and cliches, and bad dialogue in general. People, if they go to a horror movie, they just want to see a bunch of unlikable assholes getting killed off. Because, why relate to a main character in a horror movie when bad things are supposed to happen? Why make the audience feel anything other than good feelings in the long run, instead of actually trying to present them with questions and theories? Well, now I'm just rambling on when I was supposed to be talking about my fears. So I guess another fear is watching us together as a society accept these formulaic things that just get thrown out, and all the people that are genuinely trying to do something creative are all just swept aside for the big budget companies, which is one thing that I don't want to happen, and why I don't support this whole removing net neutrality that's been going on for quite a while. Apparently, it's supposed to be a good thing, but I know human nature, and I know that there is gonna be that one guy that's gonna take advantage of it, no matter what. So if anything, I just don't want things to get worse. Because the way we're going right now, I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but we're not going good. Things are about to go really bad. They probably already have, but they can always get worse. That's one thing that I'm certain of. And so, well, playing through Castlevania, I'm gonna play it again. You'll see it in the background, for a little bit at least. It's been, I don't know, it's been quite the ride. I really want to try and make more content, but I really don't know what it is that I want to do, because at the end of the day, I want to entertain my audience. And I don't know what people would like to watch. I don't know what people say, hey, make videos. I make them. Then they don't get watched, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll try something else. I don't have a good skill set, I guess. But it is what it is. This is my channel. 4 long years. November 7th is the official date of when I uploaded my first video. But it's been a good run. Didn't really get anywhere. Haven't gained any subscribers in maybe a couple of years, but it's fine. Most of those subs were, I guess, ill-gotten in a way. because I just, I wanted to watch other people, and then they watched my stuff and were like, yeah, and then we kind of stopped. And a lot of people have left. A lot of people have been left behind, and then there's people like me who we're just kind of here, hoping for the best. We may not be the best, but we're trying. It just really, I don't appreciate it when people find that one formula or they do this one thing and just get famous just because. I don't know how those people do it. I guess a lot of those people are trying just as hard as I am. I want to make good stuff, even if I can't. I don't have the skills to do it. But I really don't want to be that guy that just puts out content just to be, just to do it. And I want to do this because I love to do it, and I guess that's why things aren't going so well right now. This is gonna be a terrible thing to edit. I did not mean it to come out like this. Once again, I have poured my feelings into the camera. Well, metaphorical camera, it's actually just a microphone. But I will see you all later, hopefully. If you have watched, thank you so much. If you're still here, thank you even more. All ratings are appreciated. Have a good day.